What up, crypto fam? Let me know if we streaming live right now. Sorry for the glitchy software. Was expecting it to go live 14 minutes ago, but let's see if this thing works. I had to reset my stream key, so please do let me know if we're live. I greatly appreciate it. And my apologies for keeping anyone waiting. Wasn't my idea. It kind of just is what it is. But church is in session. Let me know if this stream is working, fam. You can see and hear me. Thank God. Unfortunately, Rumble's not working. The dual stream was complicating it, but nonetheless, we're live on YouTube right now. So let's kick this baby off into high gear, shall we? In today's show, I'll be breaking down the latest Bitcoin technical analysis. Now, ECB chief Christine Lagarde, she claims her son lost money in crypto, flooding crypto ultimately. So Max Kaiser responded, Snakeface is pimping her son with the obvious bogus claim, and a new low for this slime ball. Preach. Also in today's show, investing legend Charlie Munger is wrong about Bitcoin, according to Pantera Capital's Dan Moorhead. I'll be explaining why. As well as Vivek says the U.S. government feels threatened by Bitcoin and promises to bring up Bitcoin at the Republican debate. We'll also be discussing the Stock to Flow creator Plan B's prophetic call. He says enjoy sub $40,000 Bitcoin while it still lasts. I'll be breaking down the latest Stock to Flow model targets, which predict Bitcoin hitting between $100,000 and $1 million post 2024. Also in today's show, Bitcoin surging by up to 960%, taking the Bitcoin price action to 400,000 per coin. It's very reasonable, says crypto analyst Mikhail Vende Pop. I'll be sharing his outlook. Also breaking news with BlackRock allocating their optimal portfolio allocation into Bitcoin of 84.9%, according to their very own research released last year in 2022. That will send the Bitcoin price to $47 million per coin. And Samson Mao says the math checks out. Bitcoin is going to 47 million. We'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market. All this plus so much more in today's show. Welcome everyone just joining us. Massive shout out to everyone in that live chat. Church is in session. You already know. Shout out Jazz Tech. What it do? Jeremy Amos, Barry BTC. Zero. Appreciate that super chat each and every day. You're the man, fam. Charlie Unger lost his underpants in China. Does seem to be that way, Ellen. You guys already know. Abel Gonzalez says, let's send it to 47 million. Let's go. Let me know if the stream is clear. My apologies earlier. I don't know what was going on, but the dual stream just wasn't working, so we had to just stick to YouTube for today's stream. It is what it is. What up, War Player? Welcome, fam. 47 million. Let's freaking go, says Paul P. That's what's up. Hitakra, face melting prices for Bitcoin incoming. Loaded up. PHX, welcome to the show, fam. Majin says, I'll be happy with 47 million. Who wouldn't, right? Panama's in the house. You already know. Shout out to Robert O'Connor. Appreciate you tuning into the live stream. Shout out to our moderators. Shout out to the Coin Father, Bitcoin Maximus, Digital Dankness, Streamlabs, and the rest of the Crypto News Alerts fam. Greatly appreciate you all. Track says the stream is clear. Music to my ears. Glad we're working. Let's buy Bitcoin before BlackRock. Amen. Because that window of opportunity is fast approaching closure, because you already know the next major deadline being January 10th for the ETFs. Game on. So it gives us, what, another 50 days to keep stacking. What it do, fam? Appreciate your dankness. Thanks for tuning in. Ven Vidivici, greetings from Belgium. Belgian in the building. By your time, 90 like Munger's. Honestly, why change? Is Munger 100 yet? Last I heard he was 99 and still drinking Diet Coke, which is hilarious. Glenn, what it do, fam? Appreciate you tuning in. The brothers, what's up? Northern Michigan in the building, watching the show. Appreciate that. Oh, watching the snow as well. Yeah, it's snowing there in the north. Must be cold. Bitcoin stock to flow ratio will go 114 this coming April, exceeding gold stock to flow of 60. Says skip on down the road. And don't forget, fam, this is a live and interactive show. So please do let me know where you're tuning in from. You'll get a shout out. And of course, in between stories, we're going to be doing some interaction as well. So any questions you have, please do let me know. Don't be shy. Don't be a stranger. Good morning from New Zealand. Shout out to all my Kiwis. Shout out Jeff Zealy. Appreciate you. Brazil in the building. Welcome, Mr. Oliveira. Appreciate you tuning in as well. Bear the Bull says present. That's what's up. Welcome, Bear the Bull. Orthodox Boomer Grandma. Let's go, Bitcoin hodlers. That's right. Shout out to all my long-term hodlers. Where you at? Let's freaking go. But without further ado, fam, let's kick this baby off. If you're new to the channel, make sure to smash the subscribe button as it helps out tremendously with the YouTube algorithm. Also, be sure to smash the like as that helps out tremendously as well. And the goal is to get to 100,000 subs. And with your help, we can turn that into a reality and help usher in this mass Bitcoin adoption. Today is November 26, 2023. I'm your host, JV, and we got a lot to cover. So let's kick it off with our market watch. As we do each and every day, you should be able to see Coin 360 on your screen. We got Bitcoin correcting and in the red along with Ether and all the major cryptos. In fact, let's zoom out and check out for the month. We can see Bitcoin in the green, up roughly 10% on the month. We got Ethereum trading above 2,000, up 14% on the month. Solana, one of the top gainers as far as the top cryptos, up 74% on the month. Cardano up 34%, BNB up 4%, and XRP up 11.5%. And checking out the coinmarketcap.com, we're sitting at 1.42 trillion as far as the market cap, with 37 billion in volume in the past 24 hours, with the Bitcoin dominance at 51.4% and the Ether dominance at 17.4%. And checking out the top 100 crypto gainers of the past 24 hours, we got Terra Classic leading the pack, up 30%, and we also have Terra up 18% and Cosmos up 7.5%, trading at $9.86. Now, which altcoins, if any, are you currently bullish on for this bull run? Let me know in the comments, fam. And checking out crypto bubbles so we can see a visual perspective of how the altcoin market is currently doing. The majority of the alts are correcting and in the red. And zooming out on the weekly, we got the majority in the green. And zooming out on the monthly, virtually everything in the green, minus a handful, including eHex and Hex. And checking out the crypto greed and fear index, we're currently rated a 73 in greed. Yesterday a 73, last week a 66, and last month a 70 in greed. So there you have it, my crypto fam. Let me know how many of you are currently bullish for the King Crypto. We're still in Moonvember. We only have a few more days left, 4 to be exact, before we hit December. Where do you feel the price action will likely be before the end of the month? Let me know. Do you feel we're likely to climb higher or dip a little lower? And I'm gonna read these comments out loud. What it do, Eduardo? Appreciate you. 47 million per Bitcoin? No way. Well, I'm going to be breaking down the math for you. According to Samson Mao, the math checks out. And according to BlackRock's own allocation strategy in the report they released in their study last year, this is all their numbers. So this is according to them and their own allocation strategy. So yeah, why not? The son of the European Union, a central bank, must not be used to real trading without insider knowledge, says David Arnold. Mike says, never trust a weekend price action. Joseph says, New Jersey in the building. Let's go. We bought at 47,000, says Orthodox Grandma. Word up, we'll just hodl. All long-term hodlers of Bitcoin who have been hodling for 4 years or longer are in the green. So hodl be thy name. You know what I mean? Bullish always. It's going up forever. Quite literally. Word up. Shout out Diana Jones. Appreciate you subscribing to the #1 daily Bitcoin pod. Everyone who subscribes will get an on-screen shout out by yours truly. So I appreciate it. What up, Sherry Young? Welcome to the show. There is no second best. Thank you, Hodl King. Well said. Quoting the great Michael Saylor. Hey, Nip. That's right. Nipsey's just chilling, living his best life, as you can see in the background. Let's get it, Nip. Interesting stuff. Let's go Pittsburgh Steelers, says David. Word, is that a football game going on tonight that I don't know about? Let me know. What up, Nip? Flexing on the, the Bitcoin chest as hard as I can. Eating halal, driving in the Lambo. Word up, do what it do. We need a healthy pullback. Heard an analyst say descending triangle wedge for the temporary short, then bounce higher. Well, we're going to be diving into our Bitcoin technical analysis. So we're going to be looking at the charts here in just a moment. Fair play. Your dog still has his bullocks. That's right. I didn't want to neuter him. It just didn't feel right. Didn't feel like the right thing to do. You know what I mean? I ain't chopping no one's nuts off. Just saying. That means in the future, millionaires with 4 million, I have mine. That's crazy good news. Word up. Let's go. Anyways, fam, yes, let's kick it off with our Bitcoin technical analysis. Check out some of the charts where the Bitcoin price action is likely to go next. You should be able to see this right here on your screen. Bitcoin rose above 38,000 on November 24th, but the bulls could not build upon this strength. This suggests hesitation to buy at the higher levels. Bitcoin is now on track to form a doji candlestick pattern on the weekly chart for the second consecutive week. This signals indecision amongst the bulls and the bears about the next directional move. So with Bitcoin maintaining near its 18-month high, which is roughly 38,500, which we conquered just the other day, BitMEX co-founder Arthur Hayes retained his bullish stance. He shares that the US dollar liquidity was increasing, which is likely to push the Bitcoin price action higher. Now, another bullish projection came from Plan B, creator of the Bitcoin stock-to-flow model, who said on X, the Bitcoin may not stay at the current levels for long, expecting Bitcoin to maintain an average price of at least $100,000 per coin between 2024 and 2028. Send it. Let's go. Analysts have turned increasingly bullish past few days, but traders should exercise caution because every uptrend is bound to have corrections. That's a given, right? Could Bitcoin soar above 38,000 or start the corrective phase? Let's look at the charts. Here we go. Bitcoin's price analysis. Bitcoin's March higher has hit a wall near 37,980, just under the 38,000 resistance, but the bulls are not hurrying to close their positions. This shows traders expect the uptrend to progress further. Let me know if you're one of those guys expecting the Bitcoin price to rise on up and smash that 38,000 target once again, maybe flip the resistance into the support. Now, the immediate support on the downside is the 20-day exponential moving average, which sits at 36,546. If the price snaps back from this support, it will signal that every minor dip is being purchased. That will increase the possibility of a break above 37,980. If that happens, Bitcoin can rally to 40,000. This level may pose a strong hurdle to the bulls, but if the buyers flip the 38,000 level into support on the downside, that rally can stretch to 48,000. Let me know which scenario you feel is most likely. Now, conversely, if the price plummets below the 20-day exponential moving average, it'll indicate that traders are booking profits. The pair may then dump to 34,800. And here you're looking at the Bitcoin 4-hour candle chart against USDT. The bulls are trying to maintain the price above the moving averages, but are finding it difficult to overcome the obstacle of 37,980. So around that 38,000 mark has been giving us some trouble. The relative strength index, known as the RSI, is just above that midpoint, indicating the bullish momentum is weakening. So if the price slips below the 50 simple moving average, then Bitcoin may plunge to the uptrend line. The bulls are expected to defend this level with vigor, and on the upside, a break the close above 38.5 would indicate that the bulls are in the driver's seat. That's right. Let me know if you are currently bullish on the King Crypto. Do you think we're likely to go up or correct and head back down? Let me know your thoughts. And checking out Trading View so we can see some of the key indicators as far as buy and sell signals, looking at the overall summary, and I believe this is on the daily. Yep, this is on the daily. We can see 2 sell signals, but 14 buy signals and 10 neutral signals. So overall, there's more buy signals in the markets. And checking out the oscillators, there's only 1 sell, there's 1 buy, and 9 neutral. And to the right, you can check out the moving averages. There's 1 sell signal, 1 neutral, and 13 buy signals. So there you have it, my crypto fam. And in other news, ECB chief Christine Lagarde admits her son lost money in crypto despite her warning her son that crypto investing is so dangerous. So I love Max's response to this. Snake face, pimping her son with the obvious bogus claim is the new low for this slime ball. Preach, because we all know it's nothing more than FUD, because that's what FUDsters do at the end of the day. Let me know if you guys agree. Let me check out some of the chat. CM Punk is back. Oh, word. You talking about like the UFC fighter who was a wrestler? Good Lord. Bitcoin has had many pullbacks, and at some, they'll never be over it until it doubles or quadruples again. On Matrix says, who in their right mind would be selling right now? That's why I'm always suspicious. You should be sus. You know what I mean? Especially heading into a halving. We know it's going to take place in April. What is that, 5 months out? We also have the likelihood of the ETF being approved, which can send the price action parabolic. We have the supply squeeze, which is the supply shock, very limited amount of Bitcoin on the exchanges, massive asset managers seeding their ETF products already, such as BlackRock, Vanguard, Fidelity, you name it, ARC 21 shares. So, I mean, the market couldn't really be more bullish of where we're heading, but some people tend to have the consciousness of a perma bear, and they're just like, no, regardless of how much, like, for example, what is it called? The Bitcoin hash rate, that's what I was looking for. The hash rate hit just another all-time high. That's a great metric that the network is stronger than ever, and the price tends to follow the hash rate. But no matter how strong the foundation of Bitcoin is, perma bears are always going to look for the bearish scenario. Like some mofos are actually calling for sub $20,000 right now, believe it or not. I think that is wild, but to each their own. It is what it is. Dan Pena, that's that billionaire old mofo who claims Bitcoin's going to zero. And he claims that Putin is the inventor behind it, which discredits him altogether. Just saying. 13-7 over Pitt to Steelers. Oh, we got some football fans in the building. Yes, Bitcoin 42,000 this week seems likely. I think so too. If we can smash 38.5, 42 would be the next logical target. There's not a lot of resistance between 38 and 42. Probably got a max 16 to 18 months until peak. Possibly. I agree, Chris. I think the peak will likely be in 2025 because it's typically the year preceding the halving. We hit the cycle peak. For example, 2016, we had a halving. Then in 2017, we shot up parabolic. When I got in 2017 with Bitcoin, it was only $1,500. And by the end of the year, it was almost $20,000, which was massive gains. And then we saw deja vu 4 years later from the 2016 halving. We had the halving in 2020. That was the year of COVID. Bitcoin pulled back sub 4,000 and then shot up like a rocket by the end of 2021. I think it was on November 10th to be exact. We hit the current all-time high of $69,000. So I would expect similar because everything runs with a 4-year cyclical cycle in the crypto market. Bitcoin leads the bull run and then the alts tend to follow. So if history repeats, we would peak out in 2025. But let me know your thoughts, fam. 40 to 80 weeks after the halving, says Eye of the Beholder. Robert says 100% right on those fundamentals, right? Bro, Vanguard and BlackRock are going to be buying Bitcoin up like hotcakes if they aren't doing it already. More than likely, they've already began. Remember when we had that rumor or news that BlackRock was launching an ETF or it already got approved and the market went from, we were only between 20 and 25,000. Today's price action is closer to 38. So I think they have already started, and that's what's driving the price up. In fact, I even heard insiders say BlackRock started seeding their spot Bitcoin ETF back in October, which was around that time the price action started pumping, so I wouldn't doubt that whatsoever. Never sell, says Sherry. Sage advice. Bitcoin will continue to go up on a trend as long as it is priced in fiat. Facts, Roy, and we already know. Think the ETF is going to change the cycle? Potentially, but who knows? We don't know because it's unprecedented, meaning it's never occurred before. Never in the history of humankind have we had an ETF with true price discovery. Bitcoin offers true price discovery because it's incorruptible and we need a spot. And that's why the regulators and the SEC are not allowing it. We should have had it a very long time ago. But isn't it ironic? They allow futures because they can manipulate futures. They cannot manipulate the spot. So the spot will be the game changer, and that will be the official announcement to the world that Bitcoin is recognized officially as an asset class. And as according to Michael Saylor says, that's going to usher in trillions upon trillions of dollars into Bitcoin. Let me know if you guys agree. Poor Larry Fink is rushing into Bitcoin. He's losing his shirt on stocks and bonds. Amen, Ellen. You already know. I mean, what's the alternative? As Saylor said, there is no second best. You know what I mean? You got junk bonds, you got gold, and you got Bitcoin, Bitcoin being 1,000 times more superior than all the rest. That, my friend, is the fact. Ape says, can BlackRock manipulate the Bitcoin price too much? Well, right now we're witnessing manipulation thanks to our unethical regulators at the SEC. You can thank the chairman, Gary Gensler, by not allowing true price discovery with a spot ETF market. They prefer derivatives because derivatives are weapons of mass destruction. Paper Bitcoin, fake Bitcoin, so they could manipulate it, right? Whereas with the spot, the asset manager must be holding on to the underlying asset. That's the drastic difference. Silas says the risk to Fink is that he is coming widely known and increasingly scrutinized. Yeah, I mean, absolutely not, but Gary can. I only buy pet rocks and tulip bulbs. Word up, Melda. I want to know, with the upcoming ETFs, will the funds have to hold Bitcoin? Yes, they have to hold at 1-to-1 ratio according to the shares they wish to sell. I believe that is accurate, Roy. Eye of the beholder, I suppose, because the price is manipulated so much by a small amount actually available. Huddle King says this will be the last face melting cycle, so stack sats and self-custody your Bitcoin. Also like to throw out there, I believe the previous bull market in 2021, we could have hit 100,000 Bitcoin, but we had bad actors like FTX. We had Three Arrows Capital. We had the other guys of Terra and Luna and all these collapses. They were suppressing the price action of Bitcoin. You know what I mean? Bankman-Fried was dumping his Bitcoin. He was stealing it when you were uploading it to his exchange. Then he was offloading it to Alameda and making these crazy investments. Now we got some of those bad actors out of the game. So this time, I think we make up for what we didn't do in the previous cycle. Let me know if you guys agree. Capital One asked me, what is in my wallet? I replied, Bitcoin. Word up, Neo Styles. That's why the SEC chair, Gary, got rid of Binance and CZ. You already know they're making way for BlackRock. It's called the takeover. Welcome to the big leagues, Larry, with Larry Fink, right? Smash them likes, fam. Thank you, Zero. I appreciate that. That's right. Janet Yellen, Binance. She can't even pronounce it, for Christ's sake. But anyways, fam, let's dive into our next story of the day and discuss everyone's favorite old man, Charlie Munger, and his FUD and what he is discussing right now, and Dan Morehead's response to his FUD. When it comes to Bitcoin, Berkshire Hathaway's Charlie Munger has got it wrong, according to Dan Morehead of Pantera Capital. In a letter to investors, Morehead responds to Munger's comments about Bitcoin in a recent interview with the Wall Street Journal. Munger said that the creation of Bitcoin, which he calls an artificial currency, is an unnecessary threat to the otherwise tried and true systems of money, aka the US dollar, in which he's protecting because he's a US dollar billionaire. All the US dollar billionaires are anti-Bitcoin, just saying. Here's what Munger said. The only way to get from hunter-gathering to civilization that we know of that's ever worked is to have a strong currency. It can be seashells, it can be corn kernels, Bitcoin. It can be a lot of things. It can be gold coins. It can be promises and banking systems like we have with the United States and England and so on. When you start creating an artificial currency, you're throwing your stink ball into a recipe that's been around for a long time. So he's calling Bitcoin a stink ball. That's the best FUD he got. That's worked very well for a lot of people. Morehead now, who oversees $4.2 billion in assets at Pantera Capital, says that corn kernels, or Munger's example of a strong currency, have inflated at exponential rates, making the preservation of wealth impossible over the long term. Quoting him here, corn kernels, what? Monsanto's Roundup created staggering corn kernel inflation. In 1961, the world production of corn kernels was 205 million metric tons. Now it's 1,210 million. So Bitcoin will be 21 million forever. We all know there's a finite, limited supply. So here's the value of one corn kernel priced in anything of fixed quantity. It crashed 83%. Would he really rather save his wealth in an inherently debasing currency like corn kernels, or in one that has appreciated 117% per year on average for 14 years? You do the math. Obviously, it's a no-brainer. Now, Morehead says the inflationary nature of past money systems has only benefited a small number of people at the top of the wealth pyramid, like Munger. Quoting him here, there are billions of people for whom sovereign-issued money isn't working out too well. We believe the vast majority of people on Earth would have much better lives with Bitcoin. Preach. Yes, maybe the inflation generated in the US dollar has been good for a small number of rich asset-owning guys like Munger, but not for the vast majority of the people, both now and in the past centuries. The vast majority of the world's 8 billion people have a currency that didn't work out well. That's right, because fiat currency is a Ponzi scheme. Actually, most of the world's citizens are victims of sovereign-issued, life-changing currency disasters. Preach. Just like we're witnessing in real time right now. In Argentina, they have like 140% inflation, which is wild. So thank God they got Javier Milei, and hopefully they adopt Bitcoin as the legal tender. Did you know the population of Argentina is close to 50 million? Can you say mass adoption? Let's go. But anyways, back to Morehead. Even one of the least bad sovereign monies is a clear example of how sovereigns debase their paper money. That's right. Fact fam. Which fiat currency, if any, do you trust? I don't trust none of them because the US dollar is the king of all the Ponzi scheme currencies, and I'm trying to unplug from the matrix. That's why I went all in on Bitcoin back in 2017. How many of you can relate? Please do let me know, fam. I spent $50 on Mobland last week because it's a New York thing and it's tripled overnight. Mobland, what is that? Let me know. I've never heard of that. Munger doesn't know the difference between currency and money. Commodities are money. Bitcoin is a commodity. Well, let's put it this way. Clearly, Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger are not stupid people. Billionaires aren't stupid people. They may be ignorant. They may have sold their souls to the devil. They may have done a lot of things, but one thing they're not is stupid. They understand Bitcoin is a risk to their financial system, which they've already become millionaires with. And they're just trying to get everyone to basically step away and not invest into cryptocurrency because they don't want Bitcoin to take over. And they know for a fact Bitcoin is going to take over. Michael Saylor will tell you the same thing. They're not stupid people. They're very smart. And they know that the US dollar is going to depreciate 99.9% versus Bitcoin, ultimately taking Bitcoin to like $25 million per coin. That's as per Michael Saylor. I'm not making these numbers up, fam. I get asked a lot, yo, JV, what's up with the Hopium Bong predictions? This is crazy. 47 million per Bitcoin. Why do you make up this rubbish? I'm not making up anything, so don't shoot the messenger. I'm just reporting to you according to BlackRock and their allocation strategy. This is what they're looking to do. I'm breaking down the math. I'm giving you the facts. If it's too bullish, so be it. It should be too bullish. Let's not forget, in 2011, Bitcoin was $1. We've appreciated 69 million percent to $69,000 per coin, for Christ's sake, at the top. And we're just getting started. Bitcoin has no top because fiat has no bottom. Let me know if you guys agree. Yeah, Charlie and Warren eat recycled corn. That's right, GMO corn. You already know. Fiat is like ETH. That's right, because there is a basically an infinite maximum supply, of course, and they don't leave a sinking ship. You already know. Trump Bitcoin 2024 says Honda Trump. Crypto Cappy, amen, brother JV. Thank you, fam. Let's freaking go. Another day, brother. Keep it up. Appreciate it, Spidey. Much love, much respect. Crypto Lucian, what it do? Agree 100%. Just the math, fam. That's right. Numbers don't lie. Corrupt politicians lie. Corrupt billionaires lie. Central banking cartels lie. Everyone can lie. Everyone can be corrupted. Bitcoin does not lie, and Bitcoin cannot be corrupted. So all hail the king. Church is in session. Let's freaking go. What up, Ray? I say let's focus on 1 cent Satoshis before 47 million. To each their own. But either way, we're going to create that reality, right? It all starts in the mind. We visualize it, we believe it, and we attract it. That's manifestation 101. That's Bitcoin alchemy for you, fam. This guy, forget about the human psychology. Word. Smash the like. Thank you, Matthew. Appreciate it. I agree. Fiat always goes to zero. That's right, because Bitcoin is the apex predator. All fiat currencies will eventually go to zero against it. That, my friend, is my promise to you. Now let's break down our next story of the day. We have another pro-presidential candidate running next year in 2024, which is Vivek, and he is talking about his bullishness on Bitcoin and why he believes in it. And here's the latest of what he has to share, and he says he's going to be bringing it up at the Republican debate. Here we go. U.S. presidential hopeful Vivek Ramaswamy, if I'm pronouncing that right, says the government is refusing to fully embrace Bitcoin because it sees the top digital asset as a threat to its existence. Preach. And shout out to Honda Trump. I appreciate the super chat. He says, thanks for the shout out. Let's go, Brandon. Word up. Now, in the interview on the What Bitcoin Did podcast, Ramaswamy said Senator Elizabeth Warren's stance on Bitcoin is due to a different worldview. Warren, a vocal crypto critic, is pushing for the Digital Asset Anti-Money Laundering Act, a bill that blockchain lobbyists say would introduce a de facto ban on digital assets in the United States. And according to the presidential aspirant, the worldview shared by Warren and the U.S. government is vastly different from what regular people believe. Quoting him here, those of us who are having this conversation believe that, as individuals, create a government that's accountable to us. The alternative worldview to understand it is that the state predates the individual. Your rights come from the government. They are not independent of that. So this proposes a threat to the existence of that state. Then it's perfectly within the rights of the state to come after and prevent that from existing. Amen. Bitcoin was designed to decapitate the heads from the central banking cartels. Just saying. Now, Vivek says the people who are seeking support for digital assets are mistaken in thinking that educating politicians will change their view on crypto. That's right, because it's not that they are ignorant, they're protecting the legacy system. Quoting him here, the problem isn't that they don't know what Bitcoin represents, it's that they do, and that's actually what creates the anaphylactic response. Now, the presidential candidate also says he'll bring up the issue of Bitcoin in the debates. So Bitcoin will be a major debate factor in 2024. Quoting him here, I've already told the moderators in the Republican Party this should be a topic we need to be talking about. If they don't bring up Bitcoin, guess what? I will. So there you have it, coming directly from Vivek. And to watch the interview he did on the What Bitcoin Did podcast, check the show notes below the video in the description. Now, please do let me know, who are you going to be voting for if you live in the United States for the president next year? Will it be Trump? Will it be Biden? Will it be Vivek? Will it be RFK Jr.? Please do let me know. But here's my thoughts, and I'll share and I'll read yours out loud. Personally, I think we need a pro-presidential Bitcoin, pro-Bitcoin that is, just like Javier Milei. He says he's going to be shutting down the central bank in Argentina. However, just keeping it real, I feel if we genuinely got a pro-Bitcoin president, he'd be assassinated as fast as JFK Jr., you know what I mean, who was trying to abolish the Fed. Just saying, Bitcoin is a direct threat to the powers that be and their monopolies, right? But here's the deal. Vivek, pro-Bitcoin, running as Republican. We now have RFK Jr., who basically dropped out of the Democratic race and now is running independent. He is pro-Bitcoin, anti-CBDC as well. Trump, unfortunately for you guys, I know you guys love Trump, but he is anti-Bitcoin, anti-crypto, and pro-CBDC because he looks at Bitcoin undermining the value of the US dollar, and his handlers put him in power to protect the US dollar. And that's just the way it is. But let me know your thoughts, fam. FZ says 45, Vivek, Trump, Rump, what? Okay. Trump and Vivek 2024. I don't think the dollar will be so inflated that at $1 million, Bitcoin won't be worth it when it equates to the dollar. Paul says Kennedy. RFK Jr. says the HODL King. Roy says 1 cent Satoshi will be equal to 1 million BTC. Is that right? I think that's right. If someone can verify the math, let me know. Otherwise, I'll be on my way to a trip to a pro-Bitcoin country. Yeah, that's right. El Salvador is looking more and more sexy each and every day, right? Now imagine freaking Biden gets reelected again. I think everyone's going to leave the United States, for Christ's sake. That'd be like worst case scenario. Brent says Biden. Oh boy. Unless the powers at B join Bitcoin, they probably created it. He is not pro CBDC. Who are you referring to there, Zero? Let me know. Only to 47 million. Ain't that a bust, right? The HODL King says, anyone here in Argentina? Yeah, do let us know, right? When they were celebrating Javier Milei winning the presidency, they were ripping up their local, I think it's the Argentine peso, and throwing it as confetti because that's that's the use case of it right now, right? It's worthless virtually, and it's going down fast. Hopefully, they adopt Bitcoin as a legal tender, and they bypass the US dollar, because at first, he wanted to bring the US dollar as the currency. Max is saying, use USDT. Why mess with the US dollar, knowing it's doomed, and it's on its last leg? Thank you again, Honda Trump. I appreciate it. It says, if Trump says he likes Bitcoin, the media will FUD. 5D. Word, we playing 5D chess out here, fam? I appreciate the super. Vivek all day says, Joe, you prefer Trump crypto news alerts? No, I prefer a president that is pro-Bitcoin and not corrupted by the central banking cartels. Facts. Unfortunately, guys, I know you guys love Trump, but Trump and Biden, they're both a part of the same forces of evil controlling them, and they are ruled by fiat money they're ultimately fiat money puppeteers, right? So I would like someone independent who is not pledging their allegiance to the US dollar. Personally, that's just me. And the two candidates that come to mind would be Vivek and RFK Jr. But as I mentioned, I also feel if a genuinely true pro-Bitcoin president were to get elected, I feel that they would be assassinated, right? Because the power is so strong in the United States, I don't think they would allow it. That's just my 2 Satoshis. I hope I'm wrong, but that's just my thoughts. Let me know if you agree or disagree. Joe says, Vivek, all day. Bitcoin is pumping. Let's go. You know, every time we go live, we pump. Let's go. Cassie says, Luke Gorman calls Bitcoin the last functioning smoke alarm, and I think that's a good way to view it. It measures better than gold and other assets, the debasement of the currency. Yes, I think you are right. Jerome says, Ellen. Zero says, Trump is not pro-CBDC. He mentioned exploring the option, but that's pretty orange pill. Oh, word. JV, live streams pump the Bitcoin price each and every day. That's why we live 7 days a week. So make sure you're subscribed to the #1 daily Bitcoin pod. RFK Jr. would be an interesting candidate. Exactly. I agree. Better to do the short squeeze. But here's the deal. Regardless of who is the president, Bitcoin is on its own trajectory. It's on its own vector, and nobody can stop it, right? Bitcoin is going to do its thing regardless. So that's the beautiful thing. That's the silver lining, because I don't have a lot of faith in humanity, but I have a lot of faith in Bitcoin saving humanity. I truly believe that Bitcoin is God hacking humanity. So I thank God every day for Bitcoin. I thank Satoshi, and I appreciate each and every one of you for supporting the channel. And with that being shared, let's now dive into the latest stock to flow targets from Plan B, creator of the Bitcoin stock to flow model. Here we go. Currently, with Bitcoin's valuation lingering just shy of 38 Gs, there is a strong sense of bullishness and high optimism about Bitcoin's future pricing. Earlier in the week, we had Marcus, head of research of Matrixport, opine the Bitcoin's rise above 40,000 seems inevitable, particularly following the Binance agreement with the United States Department of Justice. He also shared his team estimates a 80% probability of Bitcoin surpassing the $40,000 mark by December. And guess what? December is like 5 days out. Also got to throw in there, Matrixport is now predicting a 100% chance that the ETF be approved by January 10th, whereas the ETF analysts at Bloomberg give it a 90% chance. So we know it's inevitable. Now, echoing these sentiments, we have Plan B, the architect of the stock to flow model, also foreseeing a surge to the 40,000 threshold on November 24th. He remarked, enjoy these sub $40,000 Bitcoin price actions while it lasts. And in response to queries about potential price drops, Plan B stated is his aversion to the picking up pennies in front of a steamroller game, emphasizing his anticipation of a significant rise in Bitcoin's value. Quoting him here, I expect a $100,000 to $1 million Bitcoin average in the 2024 to 2028 halving cycle, so at least 3x from here. Send it and let's go. Now, supporting Plan B's outlook, we had Dan Held concurring that the Bitcoin price below 40,000 wouldn't persist for long. And another enthusiast expressed that prices under 40,000 are a gift. Amen. And furthering his analysis, Plan B shared that the realized price chart for Bitcoin, the graph reflecting historical price trends, indicates a reoccurring pattern of resurgence every time it aligns with the 5-month realized price threshold. And according to the chart, the price line presently skims just above the 5-month realized price. Historically, such an alignment has been a precursor to significant price increases. And while Plan B's insights follow Willy Woo's recent projection, there he showcased a cost basis density map for Bitcoin, suggesting if the current trend persists, we'll probably never ever see Bitcoin going below $30,000 ever again. So there you go. Let me know if you agree or disagree with Willy Woo that we'll never see sub $30,000 Bitcoin price action ever again. And Casey Way, I appreciate you subscribing to the #1 daily Bitcoin pod. Much love and much respect. And that's right, Bitcoin is pumping. Let's retest 38. Let's break through. Let's hit 38.5. Let's hit a new local top for the, for the past 18 months. And let's continue as we enter 2024. Bull season is right around the corner. Let's freaking go. Honda says Bitcoin is sideways on the week, but up on the month and the year. Yeah, Bitcoin's up like over 125% on the year. And this is supposed to be a bearish year. Just imagine what's going to happen in 2024, year of the halving and the year of the ETFs, as well as 2025, when historically it's considered the peak of the cycle, the year preceding the halving. So you already know 2024 and 2025 are going to be so lit. I cannot wait. What up, Erico? Let's go. Send it. Bitcoin. Yeah, you already know we pumping. I bought some Bitcoin and ETH this weekend. Also picked up some Solana, says Casey Way. Well, I appreciate you subscribing and I appreciate you tuning in. British Hodl, what it do? Mark Schneider in the building. Go RFK, says Doreen. That's what's up. Bitcoin is pumping hard right now. Who is buying? Probably all these asset managers. Larry Fink, Abigail Johnson, the CEOs of BlackRock, Fidelity, and the rest of them. You know Michael Saylor's always doubling down and purchasing Bitcoin as well. So I could only imagine. Yeah, I mean, shout out Barry BTC. Appreciate you tuning in, my fam. What up, JV? Greetings from the Netherlands. Netherlands in the building. Shout out to DJ Polarizer. Appreciate you, fam. What up, Frank J? Buy the sleep and get rich. Word. Do it up. Bitcoin is worldwide. The United States is not that important. Good point. right? The world is a lot bigger than the United States. Let's go Bitcoin, pump it up. 40,000, let's go. Sherry W in the building. Appreciate you tuning in live, fam. What it do? Appreciate you. Summer 2024 is going to be lit. You already know. Where's your hip hop shirt? I wore that yesterday, fam. Can't wear the same shirt every day now. Hodling to 100,000 and higher. Let's go proclaim it. Let's get it. It's going to be keep pumping, says Jay Tuttle. I hope you're right. It's going to be a hell of a week then, won't it? I mean, we're still in Moonvember after all. Historically, the most bullish month out of the year. We've had a pretty epic back-to-back Uptober and Moonvember, to say the least, but we're not done yet. Let's go. Let's go, fam. Sport betting says fall Bitcoin. What? $5? You got to be smoking something. Let's go, fam. Let's go. Anyways, let's dive into our next story of the day. We still got a lot to cover. Next up, let's discuss this $400,000 target, according to crypto analyst Mikhail Van de Poppe. Then I'll be sharing with you our breaking story of the day. Bitcoin hitting $47 million per coin following the allocation of BlackRock, and the latest with Larry Fink and what's going on, predictions, and backing up the math by Samson Mao. All that plus so much more. But let's start right here. Here we go. Here's the headline. Bitcoin surging by up to 960%. This bull cycle, very reasonable, says Mikhail Van de Poppe. So here's the outlook, and thanks again for the super, Honda. You the man. Appreciate that you read your people's comments. Why, I appreciate you supporting the show, and thanks again for the supers. Crypto trader Mikhail is predicting a massive Bitcoin surge in the current bull market cycle in a new strategy session. He tells his subs that based on the previous bull market cycles and the laws of diminishing returns, Bitcoin can explode 961% from its current value to as high as $400,000 per coin. Quoting the analyst here, I still believe that this bull cycle is going to be bigger than the previous bull cycle in the sense that we had diminishing returns. So Bitcoin did a 14x or 17x or anything in between because it came from 3,000 and went to 69,000. It did even more. Great point. That was after the COVID crash of 2020. We hit between 3,000 to 4,000 and we shot up within a year to 69,000, the current all-time high. And continuing, I think that diminishing returns doesn't mean that if in this cycle from 2015 to 2017, we did an 80x, and in the second cycle here, we do a 20x, that we need to do a 5x after that, because this 2019-2021 cycle was pushed downwards by Sam Bankman-Fried. Preach, with FTX pushing down the price of Bitcoin during this period. And there were articles proving that point. That's right. Anytime Bitcoin went above 20,000, FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried were dumping vast quantities of Bitcoin to suppress the price action. That's a great point. And he continues, diminishing returns might also mean that from here in early 2023, at 16,000, you do an 18x, you do a 20x, which means that if we can go and we calculate the numbers, so we calculate the numbers from 2019 to 2021, and we say, hey, the bear market has been done. We do a 21x. And from 2023's market cycle low, we're going to do a 20x. Send it. And it is very reasonable to state the Bitcoin might be going to 300,000 to 400,000 per coin in this bull cycle. And I think that there are many new participants joining the markets, going to push the prices through which it is very likely we're going to have a 2016-2017 type of cycle. And in this period, the altcoins will still do well. Let me know if you agree or disagree with the analysts. Again, a 960% surge for this bull cycle would take the Bitcoin price as high as $400,000 per coin. If that gets you pretty excited, please do let me know. And I'm going to read some more of the comments here, and then we'll dive into our main story of the day. We got over 723 people on the live. I think that's our new record for the year. Greatly appreciate that, especially with all the technical difficulties we started out the show with. And I appreciate the support, fam. You guys are awesome. So since 2018, says Ellen, I bought Bitcoin and Chainlink. Word up. Ads in the network says buy Solana now. It's the best coin. Doge is $20, says Honda. It's Bitcoin Robo-Bull, baby. Let's go. Ed Maximus says saludos. I can't really read Spanish so great, but shout out Lee Meyer. Appreciate you subscribing to the #1 daily Bitcoin pod. Much love. Yes, we need a Bitcoin church. I would love to be your pastor. I mean, I already am, for Christ's sake. But Low Nut, I appreciate you subscribing as well. Let's get to 100,000 subs. Let's make it happen. Appreciate it, fam. Mark says, I purchase Bitcoin and gold every week since March of 2020. Starting to feel like these were good choices. Hell yeah, they were good choices. You can't go wrong dollar cost averaging. It's what the wisest of the wise men do. You know what I mean? Follow the whales, the smart money. That's my advice to you. Now, Bitcoin, let's pump to 40 G's, baby. Let's go. We're getting closer and closer. Bitcoin is punk rock, or at least we go. Monroe, says David. Exactly. 100% agree. 400,000 for Bitcoin. So here are my targets. My bearish scenario for this cycle, 220,000. That's Max Kaiser's short-term target. That would be the bearish scenario for a cycle top in 2025. That's my 2 Satoshis. Now the bull cycle, bull scenario, I can see us hitting as high as 500,000. Most likely going to be somewhere between 220 and 500. So my sentiment is right in alignment with McAlvin Pop, projecting between 300 and 400,000 per Bitcoin. But what do you guys think? Please do let me know. You know what I mean? Sport Bettin says, I'm from Russia. Shout out Russia and all my peeps out there. Elon is developing a multi-chain X wallet. I hope we'll be able to swap everything, says Ellen. Piet says, only gone, go up to 71,000. Excited, basically aroused, says Cryptolution. Do what it do. That be billions of US dollars worth of Bitcoin alone. Let's not forget, Fidelity, one of the largest asset managers in the world, is projecting a $1 billion Bitcoin price by the year 2038. This is Jurrien Timmer, the head of their macro. I've covered this prediction many times in the show. We got Peter Dunsworth, who predict, I think, $7 billion per coin. Obviously, that's with the US dollar hyperinflating, but just goes to show you that things are about to get crazy, to say the least. I think I should dollar cost average forever. That's the name of the game, McLovin. Exactly. What up, Passive? Good to see you, fam. Welcome from Eddie. Appreciate you tuning into the live. What you think for the price by the end of 2024? I think in 2024, we break that 6-figure mark and we have our $100,000 fiesta right here in Puerto Rico. As far as the high for 2024, I don't know, but I do think we break 6 figures. But I believe it's going to be 2025 where we hit multiple 6 figures, anywhere from 220 to 500,000. I'm sticking with it. Took it off the exchanges. Smart man Joe, never keep your crypto on the exchanges, not your keys, not your coins. Put that bad boy in some self-custody, such as a cold storage wallet would be the go-to solution. And with that being shared, now let's break down our breaking story of the day with the Bitcoin price action hitting $47 million per coin. Let's freaking go. Shout out Joe. Thanks for subscribing to the #1 daily Bitcoin pod. So here we have it. I shared this tweet a little earlier with BlackRock allocating their optimal portfolio allocation into Bitcoin of 84.9%, which is according to their very own study released in 2022. That would send the Bitcoin price to $47 million per coin. That's what's up. Quoting Samson Mao right here, in 2022, BlackRock released a study indicating the optimal portfolio allocation of Bitcoin was 84.9%. The remaining 15.1% can go into equities and bonds. Let's actually read this. Again, this is a study coming directly from the world's largest asset manager, in which many believe is the US government. Check it out. 2.3 effect of skewness in practice. We perform the following asset allocation exercises. Suppose we start with a 60-40 equity bond portfolio, assuming that equity and bond returns are log normal, fitted to the moments reported in data exhibit 1. We compute the power utility risk aversion coefficient to yield that 60-40 allocation. In this case, a risk aversion of y equals 1.5 corresponds to 60-40. Then we hold the risk aversion fixed and estimate the optimal weight of Bitcoin. And assuming the equity and bond weights are held in the same pro rata 60-40 allocation, that is, the equity of the bond weights are set to be whatever this math, respectively, we use a mixture of normals distribution for Bitcoin returns that captures large positive skewness. Now for what you see highlighted in the yellow. Exhibit 4 presents the results. Starting with a 60-40 equity bond portfolio, which is produced with a risk aversion of y equals 1.5, the optimal Bitcoin allocation is a large 84.9%. That's practically an 85% allocation from the world's largest asset manager. The remainder of the portfolio, 15.1%, is split 60-40 between equities and bonds. And now for the green highlighted area. Although Bitcoin has an extremely large volatility, a 1.322, as seen in Exhibit 1, the pronounced positive skewness leads to large allocations and dominates in the utility function, see equation 9, and they go on. The certainty equivalent compensation required to not invest in Bitcoin is close to 200%. In Exhibit 4, starting at a 20/80 stock bond portfolio leads to a 12.5% Bitcoin allocation and a risk risk-tolerant investor with an 80-20 stock bond portfolio desires a levered position of Bitcoin of 106%. So let's freaking go. Zero, appreciate that super chat. You the man. John West, appreciate it as well. And I'll address your question a little later. Thank you for sharing, and thank you for contributing to the #1 daily Bitcoin pod. Now, someone broke down the math for Samson Mao right here. BlackRock has $9.4 trillion in assets under management, 0.849 for the right Bitcoin position percentage. So 7.98 trillion that BlackRock will need to allocate to Bitcoin to follow their paper. 7.98, 118B, I guess, I don't know if that's billion or what, of a multiplier. I'm not the math whiz here. $941 trillion market cap. So Bitcoin will be about 47 million per coin. Samson Mao chimed in. The math checks out. Bitcoin is going to 47 million per coin. Send it and let's go. He also recently shared the SEC will approve all the Bitcoin ETFs. The most interesting countries for Bitcoin adoption right now are Panama, Indonesia, and Argentina. And you already know Argentina just got a pro-Bitcoin president with Javier Milei. They have a population of 50 million. Panama would be lit as well, being it's in Central America, not too far from El Salvador. And Indonesia is one of the massive populations. We're talking close to 250 million people. Can you say mass Bitcoin adoption? Let's freaking go. Another interesting tweet Samson Mao shared. It has come to my attention. There are some Bitcoiners that don't think Bitcoin can reach $1 million per coin in a matter of days or weeks after the ETF money starts to flow in. So they're in for a pleasant surprise. Preach. Let me know if you agree or disagree with that sentiment from Samson Mao and the BlackRock allocation strategy of roughly 85% into the King Crypto. Now let's dive a little deeper into the halving, shooting the Bitcoin price past $1 million per coin. Here we go. Jan 3, CEO Samson Mao recently compared the upcoming bull cycle with that of 2017, predicting Bitcoin to reach $1 million per coin. The ongoing narrative surrounding the increasing institutional interest in Bitcoin exposure has led multiple analysts coming up with their forecast for the upcoming bull cycle. Amidst the optimistic wave, we have Samson Mao, who made a particularly bold statement, predicting Bitcoin to hit an astonishing $1 million price action per coin. This projection, shared Mao's Twitter, stands out even amongst maximalist standards. Quoting him here, in 2017, it took 9 months for Bitcoin to go from 1,000 to 20,000. The block subsidy was 12.5. There was a lot more Bitcoin sloshing around on the exchanges. Mining was boiling the oceans, and there was zero institutional money coming in. 1,000 to 20,000 is 20x, and 50,000 to 1 million is 20x. So is $1 million price action really that far-fetched? Oh, hell no. Now let's go deeper. Mao's prediction hinges on the belief that Bitcoin is poised to replicate the parabolic growth cycle, which fueled the historic bull run in 2017. And how many of you witnessed the bull run of 2017, meaning you were involved in Bitcoin at that time? Do let me know. He points out that during that period, Bitcoin experienced a 20x surge to go from 1,000 to 20,000 in 9 months. And importantly, that rapid appreciation occurred at a time when the exchange supply was so much higher. So concerns about Bitcoin mining's environmental impact were prevalent, and institutional interest was minimal, virtually non-existent. Now, according to Mao, as you can see highlighted here in the purple, Bitcoin is expected to follow a similar trajectory. He believes the Bitcoin will undergo a 20x price fold, starting at 50,000, reaching $1 million per BTC. He asserts that achieving such exponential growth is more plausible today, given the improved circumstances compared to 2017. Amen. I agree. Let me know your thoughts. Now let's discuss Hal Finney's influence, and rest in peace to the late great Hal Finney. To support his audacious prediction, more references of Hal Finney, a software developer from Bitcoin's early days, in which many consider to be Satoshi. Finney, who received the first Bitcoin transaction from Satoshi, suggested in a cited message that if Bitcoin becomes the dominant global payment system of the future, one Bitcoin can reach 10 million per coin. This, he argued, would be feasible when the value of the entire Bitcoin supply is equal to the world's total wealth. Quoting the late great Hal Finney right here. And this is like going back all the way to like 2009, fam, so way ahead of his time. As an amusing thought experiment, imagine that Bitcoin is successful and becomes the dominant payment system in use throughout the world. Then the total value of the currency should be equal to the total value of all the wealth of the world. And current estimates of total worldwide household wealth that I found range from $100 trillion to $300 trillion. So at 20 million coins, that gives each coin a value of about $10 million. Send it and let's freaking go. So the possibility of generating coins today with a few cents of computational power, time may be quite a good bet, with the payoff of something like 100 million to 1. Do you like those odds, fam? What do you think? Even if the odds of Bitcoin succeeding to this degree are slim, are they really 100 million to 1 against? Something to think about. Amen, that's something to think about. Now, Bitcoin analyst BitPain conducted a thorough mathematical analysis to support Mao's forecast, computing the anticipated new supply for the upcoming cycle, projecting 136,000 BTC for the current epoch and 656,000 Bitcoin for the subsequent one. This results in a cumulative estimate of roughly 792,000 BTC. Furthermore, Payne takes into account the potential liquidation of old Bitcoin, referencing the HODL waves metric. His suggestion suggests 15 to 20% of the circulating supply of the older Bitcoin might enter the market, mirroring patterns from previous cycles. And if we assume a 20% sell-off of the old Bitcoin in the next 4 years, this could equate to around 3.8 million BTC. And despite his confidence, not everyone shares his optimism. Of course, there's going to be the critics out there and a lot of people questioning what's really possible with the King crypto. But now you know, you got the math, you see the allocation, you saw the research report directly from BlackRock, allocating in a perfect scenario 85% of their assets under management into Bitcoin. If they were to do this, where do you think that will likely take the Bitcoin price? Do you agree with the math? 47 million per coin. And the next question goes for you guys in that live chat. There is a live poll right now. By what year will BlackRock have allocated 84.9% of their almost 10 trillion in assets under management into Bitcoin? Please do let me know. Do you think between 2024 and 2025, 2026, 2027, 2028 to 2029, or 2030 or after? Now I'm going to read your comments out loud as we enter our live Q&A. Let's freaking go. You guys enjoying the show? Let me know, fam. Ryan says, from Bitcoin's inception, my Bitcoin has always been in Mt. Gox. Are you kidding me? For real, did you lose your Bitcoin to Mt. Gox? Let me know. Big Daddy says, you guys really believe that? Thinking BlackRock want to have everybody rich just like them. Well, think how rich they are going to be. BlackRock's net worth can go from, their assets under management can go from 10 trillion to hundreds of trillions with Bitcoin. They want to become as wealthy as possible. It's all about the mighty dollar. That's what they're in business for, right? Profits. They want to get rich. What's the alternative? There's no second best. They're not going to get rich in junk bonds, are they? Are they going to get rich in gold? No, it's all heavily manipulated. Larry Fink's looking to reach new levels of wealth. And let's not forget, BlackRock is more powerful than most governments around the world. Many believe that the United States government is BlackRock. So keep that in mind as well, fam. You know what I mean? What the frick is a tulip bulb? That's right. Barry says, what eat people in Costa Rica? What? Just like Americans are Bitcoin cookies? Send me some Bitcoin cookies, please. What comes up comes down, says Mr. Pump-A-Lot. K-Jam says, I'm late to the live stream. Rumble isn't the live. That's right. I was having issues streaming on Rumble simultaneous today with YouTube, so I had to stick to YouTube. My apologies. The goal was to be live on both platforms. So kind of just is what it is. You got to kind of take the punches and roll with it. You know what I mean? But we still here. We still live on YouTube, so it's all good. It's the Fed QT suppressing the Bitcoin price. It could be. I think it's a lot of FUD. I think it's the derivative markets. I think it's the regulators and a lot of the bad actors who are spreading FUD about Bitcoin. The Charlie Mungers, the Warren Buffetts, the Bill Gates, and all the enemies of humanity, in my humble opinion. If you're an enemy of Bitcoin, you're an enemy of humanity. You're an enemy of the United States Constitution and all that stuff. You know what I mean? Facts. Let's go. Yes, once you try BlackRock, you never go back. And once they get your Bitcoin, you'll never get it back. That's a fact. Hello, gang. What up, JJ? What it do? So that UAE crypto exchange will suck the crypto industry out of the USA. That's right. You're talking about the M2 that Mr. O'Leary shared over there in Abu Dhabi. It could be. Also, we may get ETFs out of Hong Kong. That's the word on the crypto streets. We also may get an ETF spot out of Dubai, potentially, Abu Dhabi. We have a massive exchange backed by lots of billionaires. We know there's a lot of money in that Middle East as well. The oil money, the Saudi money, that's all going to be entering Bitcoin as well. What's the alternative? Where do you park your cash? You know what I mean? You don't put it in the bank because it would be a melting ice cube. It's going to disappear. What do you think of RWA, real world assets? It's going to be a big narrative. I'm not too familiar. I don't know if you mean real estate when you say big world assets or real world assets. You got to elaborate. BlackRock hasn't allowed 401k and their money out. That's right. And keep in mind, every single ETF that has been submitted to the SEC by BlackRock has been approved except one. The track record is 575 to 1. So the SEC rarely says no to BlackRock. And right now they're already having conversations. BlackRock recently met up with the SEC along with Grayscale last week. That was news I shared on the show. So being there's a dialogue going back and forth and they're discussing the BlackRock and ETFs from the major asset managers, that's a good sign that it's likely to come down the pipeline. When do you think we get the approval of the ETFs? Please do let me know. Hey, Helen, good to see you, fam. How you doing? This guy, let's go. 47 mil, drunk. No, I'm not. We just referencing the mathematics and the numbers according to BlackRock's own research study shared last year in 2022. And you're going to have to hit the rewind and check it out for yourself, fam, because this is 100. I can't not listen to the stupidity. I came here to say this. Well, thank you, Hodl or Die. You need a new name, by the way. I appreciate you tuning in. It's a good sign when your haters are tuning in, just saying. I mean, 30 trillion. Well, we know the market cap of, well, not market cap, but the total assets under management just from the top asset managers that have the applications in for the spot ETF right now. Total 25 trillion. There's 25 trillion that could potentially enter Bitcoin. So you already know. Imagine, what if they really did allocate 85%? You know what I mean? Game changer. Larry Leth, I appreciate you subscribing to the #1 daily Bitcoin pod. Think about the amount of people not buying Bitcoin yet. Exactly. They say there's 50 million millionaires on the planet. Well, not even half the millionaires in the world will be able to say, I'm a whole coiner. That's a fact. You know what I mean? What if Indonesia adopts Bitcoin as legal tender? What if Panama adopts Bitcoin as a legal tender? What if Argentina adopts Bitcoin as the legal tender? What if Mexico adopted Bitcoin as the legal tender? What if Canada adopted Bitcoin as the legal tender? Game theory in full effect. The blueprint has already been laid out by, you know what I mean, Bukele over there in El Salvador. Now they're going to bring this blueprint to the rest of the world leaders and countries around the world. The good guys will adopt Bitcoin. The bad guys, they will fight to the death against it because they're not going to allow it. You know what I mean? That's just the way the world works. Let me know if you guys agree or disagree. Yes, the alts will follow. Barry, 100 million Satoshis equals 1 Bitcoin. Correct. 1 Bitcoin can be divided by 100 million sats. 100%. Parabolic, says Helen. Send it. Let's go. As a bear case for the foreseeable future, Bitcoin is a safer place to park than anything else right now. Not financial advice, though. Don't gamble mortgages or money or food money. Bitcoin is going to 8 to 10x incoming. 100%. Easy peasy, J Bravo. Easy peasy. BlackRock is the mafia. You already know. Oh my God, unbelievable. I heard this type of madness in 2021, then a big dump. So are you saying, Big Daddy, you're anticipating a big dump because I just shared a bullish scenario and your mind can't take it? You can't fathom that 47 mil? What's the deal? And we're not saying 47 mil overnight. We're just saying by the time they get to their desired allocation strategy of 85%, that's what the math works out to. We might not see that till 2030. We don't know. But nonetheless, that's what they shared. And don't shoot the messenger. People get mad at me for being so bullish. I'm just reporting the news. You know what I mean? I'm not a perma bear. We probably are one of the most bullish channels. You know what I mean? For sure. But nonetheless, it's all backed by facts and real figures and respectable people. You know what I mean? Samson Mao is no joke. He's helping usher in massive Bitcoin adoption. He was running for mayor of Bitcoin City. You know what I mean? He works closely with Bukele. And these are real numbers. These aren't made up. This ain't pie in the sky. This is the real deal. JV struggling to keep up with the chat. Yes, and this is a good sign because there's 700 people here. The chat is lit. I'm loving it. And I need more water, for Christ's sake. Now, normally we'd be on Rumble doing the uncensored version of the show, but for some reason, it wasn't working today. But we'll be back on Rumble tomorrow with uncensored JV because I got to be careful what I talk about on YouTube. Just keeping it real. I'll have it figured out for tomorrow, guys, for Rumble. Don't worry about it. Whole coiners are very likely millionaires by 2030. Easy peasy. Easy peasy. Yes, one Bitcoin can very easily be worth 1 million per coin at the top of the decade for sure. Self-custody your Bitcoin before you aren't able to interact with the base layer of Bitcoin anymore. Well said, Joe. Thanks for the sage advice. 2,660 Satoshis equals $1 now. Whoa. So everyone here should become at least a Satoshi millionaire to start off with. You know what I mean? Best chat ever. Thank you. Let's freaking go, says Casey. Let's go. I bet Garrett Soloway is gutted. He is still waiting for Bitcoin to go 20,000. Good luck to him. I'm hanging in there until at least 2025. I ain't going nowhere. I'm here for life, fam. It's so busy, top JV. Gotta love it. Trump, USA, says Honda Trump. Let's go, Bitcoin. Pump, 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 pump it up. Thank you, Kushlin. Appreciate you. Yes, 47 mil for Bitcoin is the future. Take it from Houdini Crypto. Shout out Houdini Crypto. Appreciate you. That's right. And if you're enjoying today's show, be sure to smash the like. It helps out tremendously with the YouTube algorithm. And make sure you're subscribed to the #1 daily Bitcoin pod. No after party on Rumble today because we're having technical difficulties, just FYI. I'm just grateful to even be live right now on YouTube because I was starting to be like, yo, what the frick is going on right now? Get that Bitcoin off the exchanges ASAP. Sage advice, Chris. Listen to Chris. Bitcoin, I am pumping. Stop lagging me. Word, or stop tagging me. Shout out Anonymous. Thank you for subscribing to the #1 daily Bitcoin pod. 2.8 milli in his wallet, says Zero. Who you referring to there, fam? Soloway got his year quite incorrectly. It is what it is. That's right. He sure did. Facts. You know what I mean? How many people listened to that fool and got wrecked and missed out? Maybe you dumped all your Bitcoin and it's like, oh, I'm going to buy it back at 10,000. And then 10,000 ever came around. And instead of going from 20 to 10, we shot up from 20 to almost 40. And now you're regretting it. So be very careful who you take advice from. You know what I mean? Seriously. Don't listen to nobody. Verify everything and do what makes the most sense for you and your family. Don't be ignorant in an investment. If you're going to invest, do the math. Put in the 100 or thousands of hours of research. Tune into the show on a daily basis, right? They say put in your 10,000 hours of research to truly understand Bitcoin. You know what I mean? You can start here with the channel. Appreciate y'all. Casey, what it do? Says world value of financial assets is 516 trillion. So it's reasonable in time for 1% of the value, or 5 trillion, to be allocated to Bitcoin as a diversification. That would suggest a price of 100,000, and that's extremely conservative. I've heard numbers. The total addressable market of the world is north of 700 trillion. I've heard Michael Saylor say that. I've heard Max Kaiser say that. And as they continue printing money, it's only going to continue to rise. I mean, for Christ's sake, back when Hal Finney created that document that I read earlier, back from like 2008 or 2009, he was projecting Bitcoin hitting $10 million. And at the time, the total addressable market was only north of like 100 to 300 trillion dollars. So you already know. YouTube allows pop-up windows for premium. Good stuff. You got to have the premium. You know what I mean? The optimal portfolio is 100%. Well said, Steven. And not stocks or bonds. In crypto, George from Crypto's Arrest by Cost recommends 50% Bitcoin, 25% large cap alts, with ETH the most, and 25% small to mid cap alts. With Crypto News Alerts, I'm suggesting 100% allocation into Bitcoin, 0 fiat, maybe just enough to pay your bills for the next 30 to 60 days. But you heard it here first, all in, Bitcoin, Crypto News Alerts, let's freaking go. I challenge anyone to mess with that allocation. Challenge me, let's go. Good point that money printing would increase the financial assets total amounts. Now, if you're a gambler, by all means, invest into the altcoins and smaller altcoins and do your thing. It's gambling though, but only use what you're prepared to lose. Kind of like only keep in the bank what you can afford to lose. Bitcoin's a sure thing. It's the fastest horse in the race with the least risk. Bitcoin is a sure bet. It's been going up over 100% per year for the past 15 freaking years, closer to 200%. And we're just getting started, just saying. So let's go. Remember, kids, not your keys, not your coins. Thanks for the reminder, fam. Yes, George is an ish coiner, says Chris Grace. Well, the name of the show is Cryptos Are Us. So just keeping it real. The name of my show is Crypto News Alerts. But nonetheless, it doesn't mean I'm an ish-coiner. It just means I cover the crypto news, Bitcoin being the biggest cryptocurrency in the world. So yes, Bitcoin is crypto. A lot of people say Bitcoin not crypto, and I understand that sentiment, but at the end of the day, Bitcoin was the first cryptocurrency ever created, so you got to keep it real. Also, stablecoins are cryptocurrencies. So USDT Tether is also a crypto, right? It's a part of the crypto ecosystem, is it not? Chris George is I meant 32 to 78 so far. Let's go. The exchanges are online ish-coin casinos. Bingo, Ambrosia. And that's why the SEC is going after them for allegedly selling unregistered securities. They deem virtually every crypto, minus right now Bitcoin and XRP, an unregistered security, including Solana and Matic. It was listed in the lawsuit against Kraken, the most recent lawsuit. It said it named 16 altcoins they deem unregistered securities. So be careful, ish-coining fam. 10 million flokies, says Honda. Word. Yeah, meme coins are funny. I'll stay with Bitcoin, not the altcoins. Smart man, JJ. Well said. Anyways, fam, I got to wrap up. I appreciate y'all spending your Sunday with me, Bitcoin Church, as we do. We're here every day. For those of you new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. And normally we have an after party uncensored on Rumble, but today we had some tech difficulties, so it wasn't working. But we'll be back tomorrow with our JV React session and the uncensored version of Crypto News Alerts. Thank you so much for supporting the #1 daily Bitcoin pod. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Same bit time, same bit channel. JV is out. Deuces.